The Devil's Call by Spudge Franklin. Little Billy was excited to spend the weekend with his grandmother. Her ancient house, located at the edge of the woods, always seemed like an adventure to him. Its creaky floors, faded photographs, and old paintings held a world of stories from yesteryears. But this time, things felt different. As dusk settled in, a thick fog began to form around the house, and an eerie silence blanketed the surroundings. As Billy was playing with some toys in his room, he heard a loud knock on the front door. Thinking it was perhaps a neighbor, he went downstairs to see. But what met him was something out of a nightmare. Through the window beside the door, he saw a man standing outside, but this was no ordinary man. His eyes were bloodshot, with an unnatural glow, and his mouth twisted into a sinister grin. As Billy watched, horrified, the man began to speak in a guttural voice. "Let me in, Billy. I've come for you." Billy ran to lock the door, realizing that the man was not alone. He was possessed. From the window, he saw that the man's shadow seemed to move independently, writhing and stretching as if it had a mind of its own. In a panic, Billy tried calling his parents for help. As the dial tone buzzed, he could hear the possessed man chanting outside, the words getting louder and clearer. "Your soul is mine, Billy. There's no escape." The phone finally connected, and Billy heard his mother's voice. "Hello?" But before he could say anything, there was a piercing scream from the other end, so loud and terrifying that it chilled him to the bone. He dropped the phone, the line going dead. Fear gripped him as he realized that the demon was not just after him, but his family as well. The house's lights began to flicker, and cold drafts seeped through the cracks. He remembered his grandma mentioning a protective talisman hidden somewhere in the house. With renewed hope, Billy decided to find it. But as he searched, the possessed man's voice echoed through the house, singing a lullaby that Billy's mother used to sing to him. The familiarity of it, contrasted with the horror outside, only heightened his fear. Billy finally found the talisman, an old cross with inscriptions, in the attic. He clutched it tight, feeling its warmth. He knew he had to confront the entity outside. With newfound courage, he opened the door, holding the cross out. The demon-possessed man hissed in anger, recoiling from the holy object. "You can't have me or my family," Billy shouted. A powerful gust of wind circled them, and the dark shadow began to separate from the man, shrieking in rage. The cross glowed brighter, casting a protective barrier. With one final scream, the shadow was sucked back into the forest, leaving the once possessed man, confused and disoriented. Billy, out of breath but determined, went back inside, locking the doors and windows. The fog began to lift, and the night once again returned to its calm serenity. The next morning, his parents arrived, pale and worried. They embraced him, tears streaming down their faces. They had experienced a night of horror as well, battling dark forces that tried to invade their home. But they had prevailed, just like Billy. From that day on, the old house wasn't just a place of stories for Billy. It was a testament to his bravery, the love of his family, and the power of faith against the darkest of evils. The end, or is this just the beginning?